Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. This morning we're going to go through another book, and the book that I've selected for this morning is entitled Cribsheet, a data-driven guide to better, more relaxed parenting, by an author named Oster. And this book, like many of the other books that I've presented over the past month or so, I'm putting together a cluster of books and presenting them specifically on parenting and on child development. And as we know, parenting can be overwhelming with countless opinions and advice swirling around, causing confusion. But what if you could make decisions based on data rather than just gut feel? So this book takes a look at the various options and the opinions that abound, and has a scientific approach to identifying and distilling the truths to make parenting just a little bit more easier for everybody, rather than having people relying on what other people say. They can make their own decisions based on data-driven scientific method. So what can we learn here? So the first book, or the first point to come out of this book, should I say, is where we look at sleep training. And having been a parent myself and a grandparent, and having watched both of my daughters raising their children, you quickly get to understand that sleep for both parents and child is very, very important. And I guess I was a little bit surprised to see my daughters being quite bold at letting their children cry it out, to give them an opportunity to get some sleep, and to use the method of it's okay to let them cry. Because I must admit, when my kids were young, whenever they'd cry, we'd go and lift them up and baby them. But they were good children. I can't look back and say that I had troubles, or my wife had troubles with our children sleeping. But some families have significant issues and problems. And what the author here says is that whilst it may seem counterintuitive, controlled crying can be an effective sleep training method. Oster's data suggests that it can lead to improved sleep for both baby and parent, and it's something that at least new parents should consider and try, even though it does feel a little bit, as the author said, counterintuitive. But if you let the baby cry it out for a little amount of time, and of course observe them through the camera, then this controlled method can be quite beneficial. The next point that the author talks about is the time-old question of breastfeeding versus formula. And once again, it's horses for courses. and we must take a balanced approach and a balanced perspective. The debate between breastfeeding and formula feeding can be intense, and Oster's research shows that whilst breastfeeding offers some health benefits, formula-fed babies can thrive just as well. So once again, it comes down to personal preference more than anything else, and the science shows that either way can be adopted without the parents feeling in any way that they're not good enough. The next point that we talk about is a hotly debated one as well, especially now that I've got granddaughters who are at the age where they love their iPad, and this discussion's about screen time. And the author makes a very valid point, and I guess we can all attest to this, that moderation is key, because if you leave kids to their own devices, they can be on the screen, on their iPads all day long, all night long. Many parents worry about the impact of screen time on their children's development, and Oster's data suggest that moderate amounts of screen time may not be harmful and can even be beneficial. And I've seen through my eldest granddaughter and my second granddaughter that they do benefit. They definitely do benefit in some ways from their time on their iPads, but it's not always going to be optimal if they just spend all of their time just going through unsupervised on their iPads. The next point that the author talks about here is discipline, and the key message to come from the book is about positive reinforcement, and the author does confirm, just like the rest of us who have experienced this, either growing up or incorporating it into our parenting style, that positive reinforcement actually works. Positive reinforcement, such as praise and rewards, is more effective as a disciplinary strategy than punishment. Something to consider. It helps children learn desired behaviours and at the same time builds self-esteem. So just like we're able to train our pets by setting limits and by encouraging the behaviours that are going to be, socially more acceptable, similarly with children and the people around us, not only just children, but adults, friends, work colleagues. We need to have a balanced approach, and that the positive reinforcement with rewards and praise tends to have better outcomes. When we look at nutrition, once again, a balanced approach is what works. While a balanced meal is important, don't stress too much is the key message over every meal. Offer a variety of healthy foods and let your child choose what they want to eat at the end of the day. And the last key point is to trust your instincts. Whilst data can be helpful, it's important to trust your instincts as a parent. If something feels wrong, don't be afraid to seek additional advice and make a change. Cribsheet offers a refreshing and evidence-based approach to parenting, and by understanding the data, you can make informed decisions and feel more confident in your parenting choices. Take care. and bye for now.